À partir de 15h à 17h sur Radio Fishwell Radio Net. Merci d'être à l'écoute de cette radio.
Hey, this is Chung Kim coming at you at Commish Radio, supporting Dr. Ed Gray, and I want to say hi to all my Korean fans. 안녕하세요, 잘 들으세요, and thank you so much for listening and tuning to Commish Radio. Love you guys.
Now go ahead and run it. That's the way you begin it.
Hello, I'm City Councilwoman Gina Bivens, running for re-election to represent the more than 100,000 people who live in City Council District 5. I've made Fort Worth a bandbox city. I've built houses in South 6 where they hadn't been built before, and I'm preserving the zoning around that East Chase corridor. I need to go back to office. Vote for me.
This is perfect.
Torres, and I'm seeking the honor to represent the people of District 5 with Dallas City Council.
And then you
I'm a
playing
single
those
mom
back
and a
to back to back.
businesswoman
You
that
gotta
will
let them know
fight
that
for
we're
District
live.
5's improved safety, our fair share of economic development, and quality of life. Thank you for listening right now to The Commish.
All right. You're listening to the Commish Nation, and as we said earlier on these numerous drops that have been coming through, we are the best radio show from Como to the Congo. That's right, from Como to the Congo. You like that, Mr.
I do
Mason?
like that.
Yeah, so I say that because what we're doing here on the Commish radio show is we're making this whole deal of social networking and social justice interactive, and what we're doing, we're bringing a continent. You know, we're talking about Como, we're talking about North America, and we're talking about Africa and the Congo. We're bringing them all together. But you know, all together that we have, we just can't seem to get along when it comes down to Elm Street. Now, if you've been following me, you checked me out. I said earlier we had a nightmare on Elm Street. And that nightmare on Elm Street will continue to happen if we don't continue to be involved. Local elections are the most important elections that we have in this country. I know people say, wait a minute, hold on. President of the United States, you know, that's very important. It's very important. But however, what we do locally affects us every day down to the last minute penny that we spend at a grocery store, all the way to the fact that whether or not we even get police service. Trump can't do anything about that. But, you know, who we elect to be mayor of Dallas, Cedar Hill, Fort Worth, Grand Prairie, who we elect to be city council of these respective cities, these are things that can affect us. Who we choose to have as our police chief, these are things that affect us. Now, I've been involved in politics now for over 40 years. First time I got involved in politics, it was 1976. The next year I was in Washington, D.C. as a congressional intern. Been doing stuff ever since. But I've never seen what happened on Elm Street to silence so many people. That so many people were quiet. So many people were quiet. The mayor of Dallas didn't say anything about what had happened until I started fronting him out on social media, as you noticed before when I sent the open letter to the mayor. Now I have my guests here. Now I've already told him in advance that, hey, what I was going to say, this is not a lending of support for who I'm about to attack, because it's not an attack, it's about telling the truth. We need people who lead, whether or not they're the mayor, or whether or not they're the police chief, whether or not they're the district attorney. We need people to lead. Now, the whole process was Austin Sheffield. We're going to talk more about that later in future shows. But I just want to go ahead and say one thing that just happened during Women's History Month. A black woman was attacked downtown, viciously beaten. Very few black elected officials said anything about it. Even black women elected officials, some of them didn't say anything about it as well. Yeah, I said it. and also a police chief. A police chief didn't say anything about it as well. And she was chosen because of what she was, black woman. Now I know because I was one of the people who was on a search committee to select the police chief. We got issues. I know you get ready to go ahead and text people and say Ed Gray said Chief Renee Hall wasn't leading. Well, don't text. You don't have to do all that. Maybe she's a friend on Facebook and she probably been listening to this right now. But we've had two instances, one with Botham Jean, and this instance here, in which the police chief could have took charge of this situation immediately and put the charges in. The district attorney couldn't have done that. It starts with the police chief, and it wasn't done. I was on the search committee again to appoint the police chief. So I guess anyone and everyone has an opinion, but I just wanted to weigh in with that. Now, I know I could be giving my voice, my opinion on Sunday, which is 9:08. But today I wanted to go ahead and give you my voice, my opinion, just today, to let you know that Women's History Month, we need to protect our women, but sometimes our women can do a job as well by standing up for the women that are attacked. Women's History Month again. Women History Month with Dallas mayoral candidates who are women, who didn't say anything about the woman that was beaten down in downtown Dallas. But the votes are out there to be harvested and mined based upon whether or not a person is a woman. But when it comes to standing up for black women, it seems like, sadly, black women stand by themselves. So I just want to go ahead and hit everybody with that. And then when we come back, we will go ahead and talk to Mr. Stephen Mason, who is running for Cedar Hill mayor. Hit me.
Hey, you know, whenever I want good Cajun food, I go to Thibodeau's, located at 107 North Cedar Ridge in Duncanville, Texas. They're really hot, just like the Commish Radio Show in Thibodeau's. Hot as this gumbo. We will see you later at Thibodeau's. Top of the day, people. Johnny Magnificent back here with GPS. Get published successfully. You can reach me at getpublishedsuccessfully@gmail.com.
Get the mic off.
Looking to get all the newest information and news about what's going on in the Metroplex. I tune into the Ed Gray Show.
This is Student Minister Lee Muhammad from Muhammad Mosque number 52 in Fort Worth, Texas. Whenever I want some real information, I tune into the Commish on the Fishbowl Radio Network.
I'm gonna have to ask you this. I got it. I'm clear on it. I got anything on your mind?
Yeah, I think it's more like
No.
This is Ed Gray of the Commish Radio Show. You can catch us now on Wednesdays, 5 to 6 in the Red Bowl, followed by Howard Scott of the Howard Scott Show. Why can't we be friends? On the Fishbowl Radio Network. Jumped in.
There's a car wreck happening now. You need to call the car wreck cowboy. Attorney Sadat Montgomery with Montgomery Law. The car wreck cowboy. He'll lasso the big insurance companies, fight to get you the settlement you deserve. So at wreck,
Man, the guest told me I didn't have it, man. You're messing with me now, man.
That's 855-269-2699. Or visit carwreckcowboy.com.
He right there, man. Yeah, you tripping with me. Okay, now,
Hey family, this is Derek Raphael with the Design Factory. If you're in need of marketing, logo, branding, any of that nature, I'm your guy. And when I need to know what's going on in our community, I always tune in with the community.
yeah, but I mean, when did you start doing that? When did we start doing that?
We've been doing it a couple months now.
Hey, this is Benny Franklin. Just to make it happen. I'm with the John
I should have been doing that
If
a
you're
couple
looking for
months
a
back.
coach, if you're looking for a speaker, if you're
No, I
looking
don't need
for a
that. I just
mentor,
need
I'm
that.
your guy. Go to
I mean, we should have been doing that a
BennyFranklin.com.
month ago.
Partner with Mr. Ed Gray. He's going to help you make your life work. Join us on the commission.
They don't have
From
that.
1 to 3.
Don't cost that.
I don't need all this, just that. Okay, let's go back in the list. Yeah, life ain't easy.
Like that Thibodeau kitchen and everything. How they named it.
Life ain't easy. That's what we're talking about. Life ain't easy. Life ain't easy if you're a black woman on Elm Street, 4 o'clock in the morning getting attacked. But you know, that's what that's about on Elm Street. We want to just go ahead and open up with that. But meanwhile down in, well, Cedar Hill, Texas, we got Mr. Stephen Mason, man. Glad to have you here, man. Hopefully I didn't run you off, man, with all that commentary I was doing. I gave you advance warning I was going to say something, man.
You did. You said you had an introduction to make, and I let you have your moment. I didn't want to intervene, but I'm happy to be here on the commission show, so thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Tell us about yourself, man.
Sure. My name is Stephen Mason. I am a 9-year city council member. The last 3 years I served as the mayor pro tem.
Wait a minute, hold on. 9 years?
I've been serving on the city council since 2010. That is correct.
All right, okay.
Yep.
All right.
I'm a hometown kid. I graduated in Cedar Hill High School. Shortly after that, I got actively involved in the community. Well, actually, while I was in high school, my dad was very active involved in the community. He brought me along with him. He was served on the board of the Cedar Hill Chamber of Commerce, and my dad passed away in 2002. So he was going to be the incoming chair in 2003, but they asked me to sit in 2002 to finish out his term on the City Hill Chamber of Commerce. 2003, I went into work, and they asked me to come back about a year later. Then I got actively involved with the City of Cedar Hill and the Chamber again, and I ended up getting involved on the executive board. Then I ended up being the chairman for the City Hill Chamber of Commerce. Then I served on the Planning and Zoning Commission, ended up being the chairman for the Planning and Zoning Commission in Cedar Hill, and then I made the decision to go after my candidacy for council member in 2010, and here I am, 2019. It's an open seat. The mayor is retiring, and I have one opponent, and I'm running for mayor in the city of Cedar Hill.
Man, that's quite impressive. That's
Yes,
quite
sir.
impressive.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, you've been doing this like me then, like all your life then, ain't you?
Well, I mean,
you said your father was doing this stuff.
oh, okay,
too, right?
yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so
he took you to the meetings and all that?
yeah, took me to the meetings when there was an event involving the community. He'll bring me along with him.
How old were you then?
I was 16 years old, probably. You know, from 16, you know, he was bringing me along. I didn't know what I was doing, so I tell people that public service chose me. I didn't choose it, so I just, you know, a public servant and willing to continue to do more services in my city.
Planning and Zoning Commission.
Yes, sir.
How long were you in there?
It's 2006 until 2010.
So were you responsible for the new mall coming in, and you were on the zoning commission when all this going on?
The Planning and Zoning Commission, that mall came in 2008. So yes, sir, I was.
So you
I was involved
answer
with
that
it.
question.
Well, you know
because while you were doing that, I was on the Planning and Zoning Commission in Grand Prairie.
Okay.
I was like hating on y'all. You took my mall, man.
Well,
you know, they were going. It was like several places they were going to build it at, and we lost out to you guys. So.
Okay, didn't know about that part.
Yeah, that's because probably you better than I am.
No, I wouldn't say that. But I would tell you the planning process and due diligence that took, you know, plenty of years before I came on and did that. But the actual construction, so approving those plans,
yes, right.
That's when I came in. So the actual design, but actually,
right.
you know,
right. Let's get everybody caught up at home.
Okay.
So people getting caught up at home. This is what Planning and Zoning Commissioners. You heard myself and before Mr. Mason came on. Eric Wilson had came on before, and he served on the Planning and Zoning Commission as well. Outside of the mayor, probably, or the city council, the most important commission that people want to be involved in is Parks Board and the Planning and Zoning Commission, because they actually have long-term plans for the entire city.
That's correct. In 2007, I was appointed from my city council, when I was on the council at that time, to serve on what we call a comprehensive plan. And that is basically the blueprint of what we want the city to look like 10, 15 years from now. As a matter of fact, we adopted the plan in 2008, and we're about to do another round here in 2019. So 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, we have been putting things in place within our city to be able to use the blueprint for the comprehensive plan that was adopted in 2008. You mentioned something earlier about what's the initial impact of being involved with local governments and voting, not the necessarily popular national and county governments or elections. By being involved in your own city, serving on different boards, planning and zoning commission, economic development, even the park board, those are real vital boards, especially before you running for city council. So those are some of the things that I have done, but it also gave me a chance to be able to fellowship within my neighbors, network, and be able to put together a streamlined plan along with your constituents and citizens of Cedar Hill.
Training ground.
Yep.
That's what you did. So
that's correct.
You're giving us like a baseline. That you were well trained on it. So it's not like people like decide they want to become mayor and they just say, hey, guess what? I'm not doing anything today. I have $50 for filing fee. I just want to go ahead and go down there and think I'll run for mayor.
Absolutely. So I'm glad you said that. Let me elaborate. By me saying that I was a chamber member, clearly that means that I was a member of the chamber, served on the board. Therefore, the businesses that are in Cedar Hill or whoever wants to do business within Cedar Hill, you typically would get involved with the Chamber of Commerce. Mm-hmm. So I ended up, having that foundation before I even got involved with the city government itself. While serving on the chamber board, I wanted to also get involved with the city. So I just applied, and as a matter of fact, every city always want the most popular board is the Economic Development Board, but it was full. But there was a vacancy on the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the council appointed me to Planning and Zoning. I did not know what Planning and Zoning was at the time, I'll be honest with you. So got in, learned a lot, ended up trying to figure out how important it is for developers to come into our city, make sure to get all the permits and all the plans to be able to submit before the city. So it's a lot of due diligence before it even gets to Planning and Zoning. Staff does a great job of making sure that all the checks and balances is done before it even gets to the commission. But the commission role, just like any other board, they make the recommendation to the council. Council, they do their due diligence and put the policy in place. So yes, I got the chamber background, so I understand how it works with people who do business within Cedar Hill, and I also understand how the procedures and policies work by serving on different boards and commissions within the city of Cedar Hill.
Now, your card that you have here, let me ask you this. Before I go into reading your push card,
yes, sir.
How old are you?
I am 37.
37?
Yes.
37. Married?
I am married.
Wife, kids, that kind of
Yes,
thing?
yes, sir. I got 4 kids.
4 kids?
Well, I got one on the way, but yes, 4 kids.
4 kids? What's with that? Girls, boys?
Got a girl on the way. All the rest are boys.
All right. Okay. 4 kids.
Yes.
37, man. Smart growth. Speaking of smart growth, your family's obviously growing smart. It's like the way I segued into that one now.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have one that graduated from Cedar Hill, and he's at UNT in Denton right now. So
Your family is just, they're just doing everything out there, ain't they?
Well, we're trying to.
You play football too?
I actually play basketball.
Basketball?
That's right, yeah. We ended up going up into 2 games before state. So that's when.
So you parlay and trying to parlay all this stuff into really getting elected office. How is this affecting? Because Cedar Hill, it's like 2 types of Cedar Hill, right? Uh-huh. It's the old Cedar Hill, and the new Cedar Hill. The old Cedar Hill that was back off in the cut where if you're driving down 67, it's like you driving too fast, you're gonna be a Midlothian. And then it's the new Cedar Hill where you see all the development and all the new houses and everything. How are you able to connect with both?
That's great. And actually that's part of my card, which is what I call smart growth. I wanted to know what the theme. A lot of people ask, Steve, what are the major issues that are going on in your city? And as I look back at it, since I'm so involved with a lot of the planning that are coming, we got a great opportunity for us to be able to put some of these plans in place. So as it relates to issues, I think they've been identified and we put a lot of plans in place, but the thing that we cannot control is growth. In the 2030 census, it says that the NCT COG says that the city of Cedar Hill will be 70,000 in population. Well, can't control that. People are going to come. So what can we do? So we have an acronym for SMART, which is safe. You got to have police and fire. 2/3 of our budget is focused on police and fire. Also, as relates to our senior advocate. When I was on the council, when I first came on in 2010, we had the library board, and they also had what's called the Friends of the Library. They used to come to our council meeting and say, what are we going to do about the library? What are we going to do about the library? So they had a voice to come before the council. In 2001, we actually did pass a bond, and the library was on it, but we also had promised our constituency that we would not raise taxes due to the bond. We ended up hitting a depression. We could not build a library. So the library was coming to our meeting every year advocating when we're going to do something about our library. Well, now, I'm happy that we did pass a bond and we are in design of a new library, and that's the biggest ticket on our bond, and I'm very proud to say that. So I want to continue the process against.
Where's it going to be built?
So we still looking at, we have 2 locations that we are deciding where it's going to be, but I think the ideal location will probably end up being right behind our government center.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's going to be like the new part of the city.
It will be part of the new part. As a matter of fact, it's actually going to be what we call Uptown Boulevard. So it's going to be around the city center, is what we call it.
Okay, city center.
Yes, sir.
So when we're talking about your growth, and you had mentioned about police and fire, how are you dealing with the police department now? Specifically, do you need more policemen to work in the city? You got all this growth. Growth comes challenges and responsibilities. Are you guys hiring?
Yes,
Do you need more?
Yes, we are hiring, and we have a perfect opportunity right now. I mentioned earlier that our mayor is retiring, but also our police chief is retiring. So April 1st, we actually are hiring a new police chief. So this police chief coming in, also with the new mayor, can be able to establish, what is the future look like for our police department? How are we going to be able to, protect our citizens, protect and serve our citizens? So I think we can be able to upgrade the level of quality within Cedar Hill. Trust me, our crime rate has went down every single year since I've been on the council. So the last 9 years, we have had great success. We did a survey.
What's your crime rate now?
Our crime rate was down from 2010 to 2019. Was down by about 40%. 40%, I would say.
And most of the crime is what type of crime?
So
probably at the mall, right?
Well, yeah,
because that's where people are at, and that's where cars are at, and people breaking the cars.
Well, the mall has its own security, so a lot of their calls in is private. So they have, unless it's really unless it's really excessive, then our police also get involved. We have a great collaboration between Hillside Village and our police department. But a lot of our crime is what you were saying is the the small crimes of breaking into vehicles. I'm gonna tell you something that was really cool. You probably saw it on the medium. Channel 4, 5, and 8 was at our council meeting this past Tuesday, and we actually was celebrating a 4-year-old who was the police chief of the day. So the background story on that is she was in her room, she was asleep, a 4-year-old, and she heard some noise outside. She got out of bed, looked at the camera of the surveillance into the driveway, and she woke her grandfather up, and she said, "Granddad, I think somebody's trying to break into your truck." And this is like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. He called the cops, and they ended up catching him. Those 4 men that was breaking into his vehicle had also did broke into some 2 or 3 other vehicles in one home. So they ended up catching that 4-year-old ended up catching 4 men who broke into 2 or 3 other people's property and broke into someone's home, and we captured them. So those are some of the great success stories that we have in Cedar Hill.
That's smart growth.
That is smart.
That's smart growth. Yeah. When we come back, we will continue with this interview.
Okay, great.
And we'll also ask you about some other things. 4-year-old, huh? All right.
4-year-old.
Hello, I'm City Councilwoman Gina Bivens, running for re-election to represent the more than 100,000 people who live in City Council District 5. I've made Fort Worth a bandbox city. I've built houses in South City where they hadn't been built before, and I'm preserving the zoning around that East Chase corridor. I need to go back to office. Vote for me.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Wooten, and I'm the owner of Center of Attraction Hair Gallery. And when I want to be informed about what's going on within the DFW communities, I tune in every Saturday to the Commish Radio Show with Ed Gray from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Join us.
Now, like they started this, I think it'll be further along the road.
My name's Nicole Raphael, and I'm running for re-election for DeSoto City Council Place 3. I've served 1 year in an unexpired term, and I'm seeking my full 3-year term to finish the work that I have begun. DeSoto is a wonderful place to live, a wonderful place to stay. It is home. So vote for Nicole Raphael. And when I want to know what's going on in politics, I turn to the
That's all I got to say.
She has a show.
Calling all women, entrepreneurs, and small business owners, we are hosting the Run Women's Conference at the AT&T Dallas Stadium on July 20th with the incomparable Les Brown, Johnny Wembry, Shelley Hunt from the Women of Global Change, Smiley Elmore from the Power Team, and you. Bring your business, bring your business savvy, and join us at the Run Women's Conference July 20th at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Get your tickets at www.runconference.org.
That's when we started using the background.
Hello, this is Chris Howell, the Chris Howell Foundation, and the founder of In the Huddle with Chris Howell. You know, I really enjoy listening to Ed Gray right here on the Commish Radio Show. If you need empowerment, you need encouragement, and you need information that's going to help you to move to the next level, then you need to listen to the Commish Radio Show right here.
Okay, because I wanted to come back with the morning. Okay, let's go back in there.
I'm Pastor Freddie Haynes. I listen to the Commish Show on the Fishbowl for my social activism information so I can be a better agitator.
All right. Be a better agitator. I guess I've agitated some people up right now, some comments I made earlier. So I wanted to just go ahead and just move back into the interview with Mr. Stephen Mason talking about smart growth. City of Cedar Hill, Texas. The mayor pro tem wants to stand up and become, well, mayor right now. Mayor right now. Election time. When is election?
So early voting will start April 22nd through April 30th. And the election day is May 4th. So Saturday, May 4th is election day.
When did you start running?
I picked up my packet in January, which is the first time you can pick up a packet, and I submitted it before the deadline on February 15th.
So did you know that the mayor was not going to run?
Yeah, he's been hinting on it for the past year. And I think he, after the last election, maybe about August, September, that's when he started letting the public know that there's going to be a change. Transition is going to, come. So me being the pro tem, I've been going to more functions because the mayor kind of wants to start seeing things. So I think his approach is smart. But
smart, yeah, I see you. Yeah, you running that smart in there, aren't you?
Yeah. So
see, I ran the smart earlier when the 4-year-old police chief and everything. I ran that. So,
right, yeah. So we was aware of it. It wasn't a last minute and trying to figure out if you want your candidacy. I had plenty of time to think about it. Was this the right time? And it was the right time for both my family and I. And so we're gonna, run hard during this election. And I appreciate all your supporters and votes, supporters who's listening to this show. And I need your vote on May 4th.
Now, Ms. Mason, she's absolutely behind you in this campaign. Did it take a long time for her to say okay? Or what?
It's funny. We first met in 2009. So I wasn't even council member, wasn't even thinking about running for council. Then we had a little hiatus, and then in 2010, that's when I ran, and we became, the best friend. So really, all she know me as is an elected official here in Cedar Hill.
Well, that helps out quite a bit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's no transition. Yeah, I've always been in this role.
That helps out. So it's like, it's like what you say. Hey, when you met me, I was already like this.
That's
so,
right.
Hey, you get what you ask for.
That's
on this
right.
one. Tourism. You have this on as smart growth.
Yes.
Tourism.
Yeah.
What's there to see in Cedar Hill?
Sure, I'm sure everybody always use the word tourism.
Yeah, because I'm not going. I'm seeing this. I'm saying
But
you got smart on there. SMART. I need a word. Texas can't use that.
Yeah.
Tourism.
Yeah, no. So one of the last bills that President Obama passed was what's called the water bill. There was a national opportunity for everybody to get involved, and Eddie Bernice Johnson and a couple of other legislators up in D.C. They was behind this, and they fought hard for Cedar Hill to be included with called the water bill. Well, our Joe Pool Lake long-term debt is paid off now. So now we have the opportunity to talk about true economic development, true partnerships with the Corps of Engineers and also the state park, which
Joe Pool Lake.
Joe Pool Lake, the most visited state park in the state of Texas, Joe Pool Lake.
Okay.
Yeah. So we paid off our water rights. So that gives us true opportunities. So right now we're going to put plans in place for us to be able to have real, true, project. Now, I may not be able to see it in my lifetime, my legacy, but my legacy will be able to enjoy what we are planning right now for that project. But let me give you one more example as we talk about tourism.
I'm wondering why you're looking at me smiling and then you're saying I may not be able to see it in my lifetime. Then you look over at me
because
like, because I'm about to walk out of here.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's going to be in my lifetime. The true development, what this project can be with Joe Pool Lake, I don't know if I will be able to see it over the next 20 years. But we're putting plans in place right now. We got to be able to find those true partnerships and be able to see what that looks like. Now, the second part of your question about tourism, Hillside Village. During our last legislature, 85th legislature in the state of Texas, we had the opportunity for us to be able to have a hotel conference center. And it's going to be at Hillside Village, the second phase of that project. That hotel conference center will be able to have a different type of professionals that come into our area. They can stay in our hotel rooms, use our conference centers, dine in our restaurants, shop in our retail. And, you always have the rooftop and the commercials to be able to help have your valuations throughout the city. But with the Joe Pool Lake opportunity and the hotel conference center to bring a different, demographic towards Cedar Hill, that will help us be able to have a strong, diverse economy. And that's how I define tourism within my smart growth.
Okay, smart growth.
Yes.
All right. You had mentioned recreation.
Yep.
You already mentioned about Joe Pool Lake. Joe Pool Lake, are there any plans to build anything around the lake? I know on our section of Joe Pool Lake, which is, I'm saying our section, and this is a reminder for our audience, we will have the mayor of Grand Prairie. He will be in, there'll be Mayor Ron Jensen, he will be in next month as well, so I'll be able to ask him the same question about development around Joe Pool Lake. But you guys gonna have any development around Joe Pool Lake, like it is at Lake Ray Hope?
Yeah, so at our very last council meeting this past Tuesday, we actually passed an ordinance for us to be able to have a Joe Pool Lake committee. It's not really a confirmed official name, but it's going to be a committee that's going to be involved with what the Joe Pool Lake will look like. Once they start forming and getting together, they will actually have an opportunity to be able to make a recommendation towards the council of what Joe Pool Lake will look like. So it could be anything from a marina, it could be anything from a hotel on the lake, it could be a variety of different type of things. However, we got to be able to have the Corps of Engineers and the state park to also buy in to what is the vision towards the city. So I would like to be able to see something, maybe even a partnership with the city of Grand Prairie. It could be an opportunity for us to be able to build some synergy between the two of us. I don't want to be in competition with them. So if they have a marina, do we want the same type of marina? I don't know if that's the right idea.
Cleaning it up real well.
Oh, yeah.
Since you already took away our mall.
That's not the idea.
And he already did it.
Arlington kind of took it away from everybody, but but honestly, again, we're all growing. As a matter of fact, people are asking me right now, what can we do in order to try to get some of those restaurants in our city that we would like to have. So it's just growing in our economy, and it's good times for us. But at least we're talking about development.
We're talking about development all throughout there, because when we talk about DFW and the Metroplex, we're talking about the Metroplex anyway. It's like the greater council of governments meet all the time. They don't talk about things that just stop right at the city limits. It's throughout North Texas as well. I remember many years ago reading about how governments had to work closer together, as they do in Canada, in Toronto, when they came through with the Council of Governments as well. Now, you say that you're accessible. You're accessible to me. I'll talk to you. We've been talking. It seems like we've been talking all day long today, to be honest with you. I think we began this morning talking about the Dallas Morning News. We talked about the newspaper.
That's correct.
Accessibility. Does that mean that other people are not accessible, or what does that mean?
So a lot of people in Cedar Hill would say we had the same mayor for 20 years. The city has grown underneath his leadership. How possibly could I, fill those shoes? What I would like to do is, instead of people coming up to our government center in order to try to meet and greet with our council members, I want to be able to do something where I can be able to come, to our constituents. Whether it's me going to the park, so every month it would be a different theme. Whether it's me coming to the park and I can talk with the parents while the kids are playing. Maybe I could go to a gym where people are working out, and maybe I can have an hour to work out with the constituents, just to know that I can be within arm's reach of within our community. What I don't want is my first term that someone would say or use the words, I never seen our mayor, I never seen our council members. I can come to them and be able to address any questions that they may have.
The only time I ever see you is during election time. I ain't see you.
Or that, that's absolutely correct.
That's it.
Yep.
Now, accessibility, your monthly mayor community events is what you talked about before. Cedar Hill had been in the newspaper before, and we'll talk about newspapers as well, regarding finances and audits. Could you explain that to us?
Sure. A couple of years ago, probably 2016, 17, the council had an opportunity to be able to have what's called a TERS district, tax increment reinvestment zone. And we identified our uptown area, because that's one of our newest areas right around our government center, and then the downtown Cedar Hill. Our government center used to be in downtown Cedar Hill, but since it's now relocated to uptown, a lot of the people who are there are saying, hey, we really still need some energy and some buzz within our downtown. So the intent is to be able to have a TERS district in our uptown and our downtown areas. Well, the paper came out about a couple of council members who actually had property in our downtown areas, and they wanted to ask them some questions about did you recuse yourself for any conversation? Did you notify